Hello, I'm Mark Tyrrell of Uncommon Knowledge, and today I want to talk about the real nature of true self-confidence and talk about why confidence is so important for you and for everyone. I'm also going to give you a reliable, scientifically validated and quick way to boost your self-confidence anytime you need to. And if you take away and use what I'll give you, it will make a difference, maybe a really big difference to your whole life. Now, as you may have noticed, time is passing. And there doesn't seem to be much we can do about that. You know, weeks turn into months and months turn into years, and we sort of whiz through life. But I think that time only feels like it's passing us by when we aren't living fully. And one thing I want to encourage you to do is to forget the idea of self-confidence and think in terms of exploration, because life finishes at some point, however far away that might seem to us right now. And unless you've fully explored your life, and that means ditching low self-belief and not ever letting low confidence be a reason for not doing anything, then it really can feel and be that life is passing you by. Now, I remember what it was like to feel really fearful that I couldn't do stuff, so there was a time when I never would have got up to speak in front of 500 people, or been absolutely relaxed about appearing on a TV quiz show, or been happy to defend myself against 4 attackers in a simulated fight for an unarmed combat grading, or felt able to give up a secure job when I had a mortgage and a family to support to pursue bigger business goals, or come to think of it, even introduce myself to a room full of strangers. But even if you can do all that stuff, low self-confidence, the feeling that you're not good enough, inner anxiety and fear, can still chip away at you, still prevent you from being who you could be if you were more self-confident, and prevent you really enjoying your life and getting what you need and want. Confidence is vital because when you don't have it, you tend to miss opportunities and life starts passing you by. Without confidence, you don't seize the day, and when you gain your confidence, then you seize the day every day as a natural part of just being alive. Just before I give you the self-confident technique, I also want to tell you about a couple of major self-confidence myths that may have even been holding you back from being as confident as you should be in life. So over 500,000 people took our free self-confidence course when it was available, and I learned so much from them about what confidence issues really bother people and how it affects their lives. And over the past 22 years, I've helped thousands of people in face-to-face sessions find their true confidence. Another reason self-confidence is so incredibly important is because of how wide its effect is on your life. So it's been found that confidence is perhaps the most important attribute for success and personal fulfillment in life, above IQ or your appearance or your education. Self-confidence really matters. And we repeatedly find that it's as if, inside you, there's a smaller version of you. And as adults, we learn to cover that over, to sort of disguise it. Sometimes we think people can really see that inner little self that quivers inside, so we might feel like a fake sometimes, like we're hiding something, or even like other people can see through us to this little less confident part inside. So we pretend to ourselves and one another, but it can still ruin things, stop us doing stuff that would be really good for us to do, stop us feeling free, make us feel fearful and sad about who we are. And so many people I work with say that other people probably see them as confident and self-assured, that on the outside they can act like they are, at least some of the time, but inside they don't feel like that at all. It's as if they've built up the outer part, the part that can act confident and can pretend, but the inner part is still kind of vulnerable. So let's start by looking at something that is so common nowadays in the self-help industry, but some recent research has shown that it's not as effective as people thought and is actually harming some people. So maybe you've heard it what seems like a million times, people saying to you, be positive, think positively, telling you just to believe in yourself. And this seems to make sense, or even work for a little while, but only for a while. Then old habits of feelings of shyness or horrible feelings of uncertainty rear up again. The positive thinking idea has it that all we need to do to develop confidence is to think positively. But merely trying to throw positive thoughts on top of negative feelings can feel like trying to douse a raging fire by throwing tiny leg cups of water at it, and that's because feelings are much more powerful than thoughts. And this limitation of just trying to think more confidently or positively was illustrated by some research carried out recently back in 2009 on the effectiveness of positive self-statements or affirmations published in the journal Psychological Science. And what they found was that trying to force-feed yourself positive thoughts in the form of positive self-statements made you feel not better, but worse if you already suffered low self-esteem. So the feeling will outpower the thought. And trying to think positively when you feel negative can actually make you feel worse. So if you ever worry that you're not thinking positively enough, then remember it's much more effective to change feelings first. And this key learning is an insight that's so often missed in lots of self-help programs to do with confidence. So many of the usual self-confidence ideas are entirely based on changing your thinking. And if you've ever tried to do that, and I'm sure most of us have, then you'll have discovered just how difficult it is. And neuroscience also shows us that feelings, especially strong ones, come before thought. So in other words, it's more powerful and effective to deal with the part of the mind that produces feelings in order to naturally change thoughts from scared and self-defeating to confident and positive. Changing feelings to change thoughts is something I always try to do for my clients, simply because it's more effective than just artificially trying to think different before your actual feelings have changed. Now, this isn't to say that it's not important to challenge negative thoughts, but it is to say changing thoughts is much easier when that comes naturally after first changing your feelings, especially when you use the right approach to changing those feelings. The next myth about self-confidence has to do with mental focus. So truly confident people don't have to, go around constantly telling themselves or anyone who'll listen how awesome and wonderful they are all the time. That's like having to put fuel in your car every couple of minutes. That kind of pepped up emotionality is just not sustainable in the long run. True self-confidence should be in the background, informing your choices and actions and the way that you feel, an unconscious background, constant part of who you are. And over the years, I've noticed another really important thing. Truly confident people are explorers, explorers of life. They just want to know, they just want to find out and to discover what they can about a situation, what they can do in a situation. And they do stuff because they're fascinated to see where it will lead. And sure, they may need to overcome obstacles and fears and limiting ideas and negative past conditioning. But once those things are out of the way, confidence is sort of freed up to flow as a guiding principle in their lives, helping them explore. So yes, confident people are optimists, because self-confidence does tend to make good outcomes more likely, but they don't have to have things go well in order to enjoy their self-confidence. So a truly confident speaker will still enjoy exploring the situation of a crowd not seeming to like what he or she is saying. A confident person on a date won't feel crushed if their date isn't going so well, because they're exploring the situation for its own sake. And they have the capacity, and this is key, they have the capacity to transcend the situation, to see where it leads, and to relax with uncertainty. And remember that phrase, relax with uncertainty. So confidence enables us to even enjoy exploring the less than perfect situation, even laugh about it later. So being confident is about exploring possibilities and relaxing with unknowns. Okay. So real confidence isn't just about positive thinking or rigid, humorless perfectionism or trying to brainwash yourself into thinking you're awesome. Okay, and so many attempts at building self-confidence, what I call self-help hell, focuses on more pretending, more building up the outer you. But self-help hell can shrink the part inside a person, even as the outer part seems to inflate. But with nothing to sustain it from the inside, self-confidence quickly fades away again. And people tell each other to believe in themselves and to be positive. But unless we're given the actual means to do this, there can be, nothing to it. These are sort of empty words. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. So I recall working with a businessman, and he had a beautiful wife and earned almost £500,000 a year. And he owned multiple properties, and he had many talents. But he told me, pitifully, that inside he felt like he didn't deserve any of that stuff, that he wasn't as good as other people and as good as other people thought he was, that he felt afraid and frightened a lot of the time. And then there was the woman who hated herself, whilst to others she seemed like she was the life and soul of the party, but her self-image was terrible. She felt guilty and shameful almost just for existing. She described herself as fat and ugly and worthless, and outwardly, both these people were successful, but their inner selves needed to be built up to match their outer selves. Their inner lives were much unhappier than their outward lives seemed to other people. Okay, so there were two self-confidence myths there. Firstly, that we can just think ourselves confident without first changing feelings. Changing thoughts to change feelings may have an effect, but if the feelings are very powerful, the effect may be small and short-lived. Okay, the other myth is that to be confident, you have to focus on yourself a lot and constantly be bigging yourself up. And in fact, when you get your true self-confidence, it then enables you to focus outwards on the adventure of life much more of the time, so you can explore and enjoy life's uncertainties rather than be scared by them. Okay, so now, as I promised, I want to give you a quick and powerful technique that will help you feel comfortable and confident during situations which before may have had you struggling. So, we all get self-conscious from time to time, and a recent piece of research shows how to turn these times into something that will not only help you feel more confident, but has been shown to actually improve your performance at whatever you happen to be doing. So this incredibly useful technique, which I've used myself and given to numerous clients, is all about self-talk. And the discovery comes from some recent research, which is why here at Uncommon Knowledge, we're always updating our programs in line with the most recent scientific knowledge. And the beauty of it is that it takes very little effort to implement, and the benefits are instant. Now, you may have heard me speak about this before, but stick with me because I've added something new to this, which makes it even more effective. So we know by now that positive thinking and self-affirmations aren't terribly effective, or can make it worse for people who have low self-esteem pre-existing. But there is a way of let's call it self-encouragement, that doesn't seem to make it worse for people with low self-esteem. It seems to help them in the moment, when you're suffering some kind of emotional turmoil, and it seems to work directly on your emotions. Now, you may not use negative self-talk with yourself, although many people don't think they do until they're asked to monitor it for a while. But regardless, this technique is still going to help you. So one guy I worked with told me that every time he got up to speak in meetings in his work, he'd tell himself, "I'm a fake," and they're all going to see I'm a fake. And not surprisingly, that made him feel terrible. And I worked with a professional tennis player, and if she made a mistake during a game, she'd say to herself, "Why am I such an idiot?" Or "I'm so stupid." And sometimes she'd even scream that out loud, and it tended not to help her tennis much. So the research that really tells us how to use this internally focused self-talk to actually help ourselves feel better came from researcher Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan. And he made an in-depth study of how we talk to ourselves and how we do that in a way which makes ourselves feel worse, or how we can use it to make ourselves feel better. So if you want your self-talk to have a strong positive effect, you need to do it in a very specific way. And here's what that specific way is. You need to talk to yourself as though you were talking to someone else. In other words, using the second person you rather than the first person I. And of course, you use encouraging words like, you can do it. Okay. And also you need to use your own name when you do so. And as long as you do so encouragingly, of course, then you don't just feel better about whatever it is, you also, according to research, perform better. So this is such an important finding, and it's definitely helped my tennis as well as helping me enjoy it more. But I really wish I'd known about it years ago for all the clients I've helped with low self-confidence. So here's an example of how you use this, and although it's already encouraging for me to tell myself, I can do this, it's actually better for me, according to research, to say to myself, "Come on, Mark, you can do this. You're going to be fine." And of course, I don't have to say this out loud, but talking to myself as though I was another person is more powerfully effective, and using my own name makes it more effective still, according to research. So it's as though you're positively coaching someone else with your name when you do this kind of self-talk. So next time you catch yourself tempted to say something like, "Why am I such a stupid idiot?" or starting to get anxious in a situation, talk to yourself inwardly. Talk to yourself as though you're coaching someone else calmly. Use your own name and be positive. If your name's Susan, then say, "You're fine, Susan. You can do this." And what this does, it puts you outside of yourself. It's really a way of using mindfulness in your self-talk. It neatly helps us deal with the feelings as well as the thoughts, because it helps distance us and thereby calm us and make us feel better. It's very important, so give it a go. And it's really effective, and you'll find mindful positive self-talk becomes a habit, which may even transform whole areas of your life. And I have one little extra bit to add to this, which comes from my experience using guided imagery over the years, the sort of thing that sports psychologists use with top sports people. And what you can do after you've used your newly effective self-talk is imagine yourself doing the thing really well, just for a few seconds perhaps, whether it's playing a sport, having a conversation, enjoying a party, being calm in a confrontation, whatever, but you need to do this in a specific way. So again, research gives us a pointer on how to do this most effectively. It's common for people trying to use mental rehearsal, which is what this is. It's common for them to imagine the thing as if it's happening through their own eyes, as it were. But research from a couple of years back showed that actually the most effective way to do mental rehearsal is to see yourself from the outside as if you're in a movie. And as I say, it doesn't have to be in sport. It can just be yourself looking happy after you've done the thing that you were struggling with. And if you happen to be skilled with guided visualization, guided meditation, or self-hypnosis, then you're going to be able to embed this success pattern even deeper. The message I want you to really understand is that self-confidence is learnable. And all the principles from this presentation are used in the newly updated Self-Confidence Trainer course. Now, the first trainer was created in the year 2000, and this current course is version 3. The trainer develops what I call true self-confidence in you, ensuring you stay out of or escape from self-help hell, and builds the foundations for you to be a true life explorer with your focus fully out there on the wonders and opportunities of your life. It's all about removing those hidden fears that may have been holding you back and developing your new confidence patterns for situations that you currently find difficult. Now, the course is all about experience because, as I've said, there's no point in just talking about thoughts because feelings come before thoughts in many cases. But we do show you how to think in a way that supports self-confidence too. That's why the Self-Confidence Trainer course has always contained deeply relaxing sessions to change feelings so that then thoughts can shift easily. The course will help you rediscover your true explorer nature because self-confidence really is your birthright. And like all of Uncommon Knowledge courses and products, the trainer is overridingly experiential and therefore fun and enjoyable. Plus, it gives you tools that you can use when you need to remove self-consciousness and fear so that you can reach out and grasp whatever possibilities might be present in a situation. So that opportunities no longer pass you by, and you can see that stuff that before might have felt like a threat comes to be seen as an opportunity. In the first part of the course, we give you a simple model for self-confidence, which we call the 4 pillars of self-confidence, which will give you an easy way to remember what you need for confidence in any situation. And I should say at this point that the course also contains short summary sessions after each major section, and this was developed in version 2 when course delegates told us they wanted an easy way to revise the course. Then we come to a section on learning confidence quickly, and this focuses specifically on how to avoid unseen pessimism and negativity that can undermine your confidence. And next we move into the 7 key skills of confident people. And there's no better guide to natural self-confidence than those who are naturally confident, of course. And I should mention that this section is included on the summary download sheet you get with the course. It's really just a 2-page cheat sheet that you can use to remind yourself, and it has space for any notes that you want to take. And this isn't essential though, we just know that we have different types of learners on the course. Some just want to do the experiential sessions and learn the mental skills of confidence, whereas others want the theory behind it as well as some way to document their learning and their progress. Then we come to our section on truly self-confident thinking, about why it's very different to positive thinking, and you can get a simple and clear model that you can use to highlight to yourself any thoughts that might be causing confidence problems and a path to change them to self-encouraging thoughts. So this little model comes from cognitive psychology and is used by psychologists throughout the world. And although a lot of psychological models are, I think, anyway, too complex for use in everyday life, this one is really helpful and simple. And this section also goes into some common confidence mistakes, which can give you a real, aha moments when you spot something in your own approach, which could have been tripping you up. Next, you'll do a training session on how to use mental rehearsal well, like I described earlier in this session. And this is the first of the experience sessions and includes a deeply relaxing guided imagery session to give you more faith in yourself. You'll be able to play this session online or download it to play on your phone or MP3 player or whatever your device of preference is. The next experience session uses a special technique called post-hypnotic suggestion to enable you to create a confidence trigger that you can use whenever you need to for an instant boost. And this means that even if a situation catches you unawares, you can trigger off-confident feelings to carry you through. And the wonderful thing is that the first time you experience a situation whilst feeling relaxed and confident, your brain learns powerfully that this is a much better way of doing things than being full of fear. And this has been one of the favorite sessions in the course over the years. Then we move into the module called performance patterning, which is another experience session to help your brain get into the habit of helping you succeed rather than tripping you up. And the final main session is all about confidence for stressful events, which includes quick tips to use if you feel underconfident or anxious. It also gives you effective emotional preparation for anxiety-provoking situations and an experience session to boost your self-confidence for upcoming events that you might be feeling less than confident about. Okay, so that might sound like a lot, but the course is really condensed and tightly packed. We know you haven't got time to spend hours wading through tons of material, so the core part of the trainer course that I've just described is only just over 2 hours in length in total, and there's a little more though, which I'll tell you about in a moment. So all the sessions I've talked about are delivered in as efficient a way as possible, and you can repeat any that you wish, and in particular delegates tend to download the experience sessions to use them when they want. All of the sessions I've mentioned are delivered as audio, so it's easy to download them and keep them at hand to use when you wish. And through this course there are also 4 coaching videos just to keep you in company along the way and help you understand what each part of the course is about. And as well as that, we've added 4 bonus videos for you on topics we think are particularly important. So these 4 videos are on confidence building, self-talk, a session on how to use the new science of mindfulness for confidence, but without having to sit down and meditate. We call it mindfulness on the go, and it gives you a tool to use during your day. Mindfulness is a really valuable skill, which is why we've made a video on it, but it can be used really effectively without having to take time out of your day. Then bonus video 3 is called the relaxation trainer, which trains you in a quick and easy method to relax at will and calm your mind whenever you want to. And this is a really quick and easy technique, and after running the video a few times, you'll be able to relax profoundly in less than 2 minutes, and many people can do it even quicker. And finally, bonus 4 is an experience session called the Negative Memory Healer, because we all have those memories that we'd like to take some of the charge out of, the sort of memories that make you feel embarrassed or even a little upset to think about, and which undermine your confidence in the present. And this session will help you move on from them. And the whole course is delivered through our online e-learning platform, Uncommon You, which you get immediate access to as soon as you sign up. So there we have it, and I hope that I've conveyed just what a complete confidence building experience the Self-Confidence Trainer course is. But it's here now for you because I want you to be able to switch into Life Explorer mode and get so much more out of life, out of every opportunity, every conversation, every thought, and every day. And you can choose from 2 versions of the trainer. The first comes with a double CD pack that we'll ship to you, or you can opt for the purely online, totally digital version. And the version with the CD is $69, and the fully digital online version is only $49. So to get access to the course now and get yourself switched into Life Explorer mode, just click the button below the video.